Duff, your host.
And I'm producer Barbie.
And together,
we bring you our podcast,
Insights and Straight Talk. And with that, producer Barbie and I are out. Oh, man, I really got to get some help in here. Got a little too much showing there. I am a one-man band here, and it's a glorious thing to be. And I don't have enough hands to fade in and out. This is that fade in that I do, in the beginning, and then there's different sounds and so forth. Well, I haven't even got into sounds yet. Don't want to even do that. What I'm really looking forward to is at some point being able to have a call-in thing. I love the comments, and those are great back and forth and information. Maybe do a combination of those, especially when we start doing our communities, like the sorry, I got soap in my eye this morning. It's killing me. Oh, there goes my dogs again. Hey guys, stop. They won't though. Watch. They'll wait a minute. So today's morning coffee and tea time. I'm going to make this fairly regular. I'm going to sneak up on a little bit. I know a couple of people have said, that I'm trying to find out if this should be a daily thing. Yeah, recaps, updates. Hey, I was trying to get a hold of you. Oh, happy birthday. Thank you. Yeah, how'd you know? Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Rolanda. That is very kind of you to say, and wish or whatever. It's open day. I'm a little bit of updates of how some of the automation stuff is going and where we stand right now. I've created a couple more automations, and I'm not going to go through them or anything. I just want to get on here and see what questions people had, what updates might they be interested in. That kind of stuff. Current events, it's kind of a mellow time right now. Everybody politically is kind of throwing things out there, and there seems to be a better vision for the future. By the way, a big, huge, for the next several days, a big thunderstorm, lightning. We'll probably be sending it your way out further east, Rolanda. But it's going to be really bad from what I hear. I was hoping to jump in the pool today, but I'd have to leave early, which I just may do. After all, it's my birthday. And I'm 63 years today. Well, not until 9:40 tonight, technically, for any of those that really get specific. So, let's see what else. It's been a great week. We've gotten a lot of comments back. People are starting to talk to us about doing like promotional, meaning mentioning. I come from a lot of friends in the industry. I told you they wouldn't stop. Guys, knock it off. They wait until it's already hot, man. I love this shirt. Isn't it cool? Anyway, I dressed up for the occasion today. I went big time here. Anyway, I may have to put that back on. That's awful strong. Anyway, the show is moving right along. The topics are coming up. We're getting really good feedback from people as far as how the experts are presenting the information, how that relates and ties people thoughts and so forth from coming in. Man, we had let's see, what are we at now? 8,163, I think. I know it's at least 60. I'm not sure, but we're up over 8,100 subscribers now. Very cool. And you guys are awesome. You guys are driving all this. You're asking, whoa, hello. Hey, big jump on there. How you guys doing? Good. glad you jumped on with us here. Like I was saying, I was just we're just talking about we're over 8,100 subscribers now. We're getting pretty standard. All this has got to keep growing. So please keep supporting us. I really want to get out. I want to get out of this landlock I'm in here right now. Hey, I've lived in Chicago almost half my life, back and forth. I lived in Alaska. I lived in Hawaii. I lived in, I grew up in a military family, as you guys know. So my parents lived in Guam while they lived there. I lived with some of my relatives in Florida and, over a summer. And then when we lived in California in Fallbrook, my grandparents came down and watched us for that was a wild. My sister and I were both in elementary school back then. So yeah, I came on here to talk about AI, but I'm kind of going down a little memory road here, which is pretty cool. This show has had such an impact on the viewer, on the people. We're growing for a reason. Like I said, people are starting to want to have us like mention company names periodically in the show, and that'll help a lot. I mean, just to try and keep the lights on, although they're too bright. See, I still got to work on that. But keep the lights on, keep the keep the rent paid or whatever, and keep a roof over the house. I'm very grateful to do this, and I want to do it for the rest of my life, which I hope is long. Speaking of my birthdays, is long and calm and comforting, and I really believe more strongly in a quality of life than in a quantity of life. I mean, I'd hate to have a really great year and then be gone. That's not what I mean. The ability for this great middle class to move into that next phase, that next deserving that we have. Hey, John, thank you very much. Oh, I didn't put anybody on yet. There. Shout out to a dear friend of the show. Love the energy. Rod, what's one AI tip you can give beginners? All right, Josh. I'll go back down memory lane after a bit, but I owe Josh a good response here. Very beginners. I only started. Let me go back through the story a little tiny bit. Hey guys, how you doing? Yes, it is part of a series and a course in a classroom. Okay. Yeah, I guess we're going to talk AI like we should have. Thank you guys for see how smart you guys are. You brought me back on to what we actually came on to talk about. But so John, love the energy. Thank you. What's the AI tip you could give beginners? Several of them. Like I said, I started my oldest son's granddaughter was I just went back for her year birthday 2 months ago. So 12 months ago, no, that would be 14 months ago. I went because she was being born, right? And there several days and all that. And during one part of the time, my son Brandon and he has a podcast called Be Money. He's got a lot of stuff going on, actually. Really good stuff, cool stuff. You got to check out his show. He's got some communities as well, does some stuff in AI. But that point being, he showed me some beginning stuff. And what he told me to do, he said, check this out. He pulled out his phone, and I'd never seen this thing called Chat GPT. And the free version, there's a free version that gets you so far, and you can use so many characters a day. That's what Elon Musk intended this to be, an open AI, so that the world, kind of like what's his car, Tesla, the scientist Tesla back in the day before American greed, well, not American greed, but certain people's greed. broke out of that and basically shut that down. But Tesla had created a energy distribution center that wouldn't cost anybody anything. Us, the American middle class, the world's middle class, would not cost anything for electricity, but they could. Others around could make money off that. So, there's going to be a full cycle. So back to the point, GPT, OpenAI, you can find it everywhere. There's paid versions, and then there's, which I use now. Actually, I use both because the free version is very cool. As a matter of fact, this morning, I was looking at some names for the playlists in our thing, and I just opened up Chat GPT and I said, this one has this is what it's about. This one, this name is this is what it's about. This name is this is what it's about, on and on. I think we have 5 now, playlists, different categories, right? We're building on a couple others as well. One of those will be a room here for the AI. So start with a simple, very simple program. ChatGPT is like Google, only on steroids. I mean, with Google, Google was the thing, man. Remember when it first came out? Oh my God, I can search for anything I want to. How much more information I'm able to receive. So now Google has their own version. I've used it. I think it's Gemini. Isn't that one Gemini? Whatever. But the ChatGPT, you ask that same question, it gives you not only the links of what they are, but also what they are, how to contact them, what's their strengths, and what, it goes into stuff that it scrapes that information and gives you actual details, versus just a links to people who are self-promoting what they're doing, which is fine. That's great, but it's not as concise as what ChatGPT is. Also, I would practice a lot. I would try to do everything I can. It's like when you move to Spain, you're immersed, so you learn Spanish or easier, right? Or France, French easier. It's if you start using it, I wouldn't go as far. I'm immersed in it now, totally. I mean, I'm not AI. I'm real. I'm a real person, but I use it all the time now. I use it constantly now because I'm a better person, and this is a better podcast because there's help there. And what's very cool, it's like talking to an assistant where you're feeding them what it is that you need done. You're giving them that description, and that's where it all matters. When you start getting into, I know there's several other AI things. Changing our daily workflow. Okay, I'll jump on that one. Is this, okay, so real quick, I started with your answer, Jason, but it's gonna build, okay? Watch. I don't know why I said that, but a little foreshadowing there. Got a little excited. Wow. Hey guys, thank you so much. There's a good amount of people here, and I really appreciate it. I know a bunch of people from the business side of our playlists, where we interview and talk to industry leaders and all that. On LinkedIn, I'm getting a bunch of, because I've known, I've been in that system for 40 years, at least 20 years. Tons of subscribers and friends and all that. And that was, oh my God, look at that. Okay. Let me do this. Damn it. I have way too much light on. Okay. Ignore what's going on behind me. I don't have a ghost floating over but I'm not going to fix it. I can't. See, imagine how bad it'd be if I didn't have AI as far as organization, sending out emails. So to answer Bob's question, we will continue to bring on experts, as we've done for a long time, for open discussions about what they do and what they see moving forward. So that's kind of we've become, that's become a bit of a mission because I see how critical it is. And I'm learning how actually easy AI and automation can be. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. That's the hook. No. But yes, we have a course, meaning a series. And then we also have a community. So it's kind of like this morning Joe, this morning coffee and tea time, where I'm blocking out 7 o'clock, putting my feet up on the counter or the couch or whatever, pulling up some tea or some. One of the guests here, she was on a few months ago. She's the one that amazing woman, very smart. But she invited me out. She lives in Chicago, downtown, very connected. But we were eating in this. I think I mentioned it actually. We were eating in this cafe, Arboretum Cafe, downtown Chicago, and we got a couple of little sandwiches, just something to put it, not be totally empty of fuel while we're chit chatting. And then I was saying, what do you recommend as far as a drink? There's coffee, tea, that kind of stuff. So she gave me a name of a certain tea. I'm thinking, okay, I like doing that stuff. I like trying out new stuff. Every once in a while you pay for it, but not usually. Usually it's always, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's very cool. So I tried that tea. So that's when I added coffee and tea time. Grew up on coffee, always had some tea, but never really a fan until recently, meaning recently, not a couple of weeks ago when I met her in Chicago, but I'm talking probably the last couple of years. I stopped drinking coffee altogether after I had my thing because there is, well, I'm not taking it right now, but there was medication that it just was too much with the coffee. And so I stopped using it. I didn't need it every day. So I know some people are like, I don't talk to me until I have coffee. I wake up like that. So I always just liked it because it was it's a nice thing, little thought time, sit out on the porch, listen to the birds or something, or, read your paper at the table, taking a sipper though, every now and then. Sorry. Producer Barbie does that all the time. That's her gig. I love that. That's awesome. Great. Of course she's doing it out in California now. And if I was going to do it right now, be looking at the trees bending over, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 miles an hour, maybe higher. They're tall trees. I'm looking at their tops for whatever reason I got on that. But this AI is a critically important thing. So we're kind of spreading it across. And if you look at our playlist, we talk about politics and current events. That stuff affects, and it ties into everything else because our leaders set the road, the course, the boundaries, all those things for what we as Americans and by extension the world, at least the free world, we then have those parameters to go out and create and build. There's a lot of very wealthy and influential people in this country, and a huge amount of them came from not that kind of family or background. I mean, you can go through a list, but there's countries like India where you have a class system. You're there, you were born there, you don't know, you didn't know coming in wherever that was. All over the world there's that kind of system. Now this certainly lately has not been a great system, but it's set up to be a great system. Our founders established that. Now, the reason I went back in time here and bringing that forward is because if we don't get a handle on our politicians, this whole AI thing is going to become desperate. You either have to know more than you could ever imagine, or you have to have the right political people actually protecting, looking at your backside, not trying to play little funny games and continue to wring all the money out of everything that we pay taxes on. So that's why I continue to tie those things together. Some of the other playlists we've got, for emotional support. I'm talking to some voice. Hey, by the way, if anybody's a voice person out there, I'm talking to 2 or 3. I've got like 1,000 poems. Actually, I have one on there that I'm reading, but I like writing. I like this, but reading the poem, I don't think I do it justice. It doesn't seem fair to the work. I don't know. You guys go look, tell me. But if any of you guys are voice people, and you can do this stuff remote. It's not a big deal anymore. Look on I think it's allpoetry.com/Rod Duff, or the website, www.rodduff.com. Somebody told me when I first started in this, make sure and own your name. Own your name, meaning www.rodduff.com. That's in itself a positive attribute to selling the show, the concept, the ideas. So yes, a series, and we'll get more into that as we continue to develop this topic. Next one, I really like this. How do you see AI changing our daily workflow next? Olivia, thank you very much. Great question. Every one of these is a great question, especially the first one, which was more of a statement. And I'm partial to having people acknowledge my milestones. Sometimes I really sound like a conceited wacko, don't I? That's my humor. And for those of you who are new, I kind of do that. And then other times I defame myself. I don't know. It's my gig, I guess. I don't know. So if you don't get what I'm saying in these different things, ask me, chillax. Hey, it's open mic, by the way. Yeah, I want to keep talking about AI, but let's we got a lot of people coming in. Pizza and real estate must be a company. Oh, that's small business. Check it in. I'll get to you guys in a second. And pizza does sound good right now. All right. So, Olivia, how do you see AI changing our daily workflow next? It already is. Like I said, basically all the tools you're already using for workflow, they're already embedded to different levels and different abilities of the AI or the bot or the assistant. However, there's so many different ways to use AI. We'll get into that probably in one of the classes. I've got a couple going now. There's content on there. We haven't opened the doors yet for the class because it still needs a little bit of fresh paint. We still gotta shine the floors a bit more. We got to get everything dialed in. We got to make sure the books are in the right place. Got to make sure the lighting's right, which I have a lot of problems with. But yeah, we're dialing it in. I told you I'd give you an update this week. Last week I said we're shooting for 2 weeks, and I'd give you an update this week if it's going to make it that 2 weeks or if it's going to take a little bit longer. I'm not ready to go into that yet, but I'm getting really anticipating some real smooth stuff coming out. And then we have like I said, the community, the AI community, and basically what we're doing is bringing small businesses a help. We had a guy a couple days ago, TechX. You look at the show. He left his contact information on there too. I had him do that. New Jersey guy, wrestler. Man, check him out. You'll know what I'm talking about. So in that they do a call-in service. It's like $50 a month. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think so. $50 a month or $400 for the whole year, and you can call as much as you want. And they dial in. If any of you know about a VPN, Ronaldo, I know you do. You actually brought it up the other day. It was a great point. That VPN is a direct connection. It's a virtual private network. That's technically very simple, low key because we can do it now. It used to be only for the big boys, so to speak. You now can tie in a private network, not over the internet. Well, you still need that, but you still need the road. But now your car is a big rugged, nobody can get in thing. And it's kind of like WhatsApp. It's encrypted all the way, right? And you tie directly into your network. So if I'm sitting in my living room, I'm only a couple miles away, but the point, if I'm in Florida doing the same thing, I literally hit the VPN. It makes sure that I'm the person that should be hitting that VPN, and then it takes off. And in real time, you're clicking on the files that are here, but they're in front of you like you were here. There's been a lot of updating of those kind of things, share files and all sorts of different things. But now it's getting affected and becoming average, the standard operating procedure. It used to be dial-up internet. Then it was internet. Now it's, as my friend the other day was saying, somewhere in the 3-point internet, 3.0 to 3.5. So there's a lot more stuff. I mean, Ignito is kind of a AI thing in that if it gets you around some tech stuff. I've been using it periodically lately with some of my automations, because if you're to get around the cache stuff and if you have multiple, like say I have multiple, what would I want to pick here that you guys would know? One of my like a Google Chrome account, it has on it the different parts that I've been working on in that automation, but you're changing the address of where you want that automation to land on to get its instructions to then go to the next step. You're changing that because your link is corrupt, or it's in the pointing at the wrong place. Now, if you keep doing that, what happens a lot is that internet, that cache, that memory that holds for convenience when you look stuff up, that starts interrupting because it doesn't know where to go, because you've got even if you close them down, you got to go through a whole process. Or you click on the website, you click on the page, where your tabs are, you click on that and it'll say many options. Obviously, one of them is go Ignito, incognito, and it's a cool little thing. But then you go into that and it doesn't nobody else recognizes it, and you're literally forcing that new point stop, that landing point, you're forcing that onto the automation. So it gets really wild and crazy. But as far as how it's changing, it's already changing, Olivia, but it's going to get more and more dramatic. It's either going to alienate you and you'll be lost in society, or man, utopia. If you just run this way and your workflows go through. Now, a little bit of setup there, but here's the thing. I've been talking to people about this: no coding, low coding, and then coding, which in the old days, you had to write code for everything, right? I mean, that's the people, the Zuckerbergs kind of people. Now, that not his company, but that kind of thing had to be done by people, the nerds of the old days, the nerds and the jocks. Well, who run the country? Who run the world? The nerds. Jocks had a great time back in high school, but unless you're the 1% of that, hopefully you were a good person along the way. But the nerds are the ones that are. Sorry, is the way I'm talking about it should be okay, but I hope I'm not offending anybody. I'm actually becoming one. And then there's no code. Well, there's low or small code, and that's when you start typing code, it analyzes what you're doing and finishes that code on for you. And if anybody of you, C++, different codes that frameworks that you need to work within to create that code. If anybody knows that, it's a crazy ass wild. I mean, you miss one little dot or dash or a question, any symbol, and you have to fix that. Although now in AI, I have an assistant. I use relevance AI, great system, because what it does is it's just like boom. It's all these people that freely, and there's a lot of people doing this stuff for free because they know this is either a world ender or a world getter. Next level. It's important. This is not like, could be a little. This is not like the Earth's gonna. This is not the Earth dying and everybody do all this stuff and get into electric cars and a lot of crazy stupid stuff that went on about that. Not to say that the Earth isn't important and we've got to be responsible, but you've realized we're only, I mean, the Earth is what, hundreds of miles thick, and we're not even affecting all the crust. I mean, yes, you can't be stupid and irresponsible, but you can't be that in either direction either, because it hurts either way. So that's why we in the middle class focus on the 80%, the middle, the people who have they know enough and they talk to each other. Then there's the other ones who just talk louder and right now have all the influence. But here I go. Workflows are going to become beautiful and amazing. You're going to actually have AI write your ops. You're going to have AI write your emails. You're going to set up a thing. When somebody does this, then it can read the email and then it can respond to the directions you want. There's different ways you can handle all that stuff. It's not like you're checking out of the Earth, I mean, or society, but you're making what you do more efficient and honestly a better product. I love my writing, but every once in a while when I really want to do something special, something neat, I'll bring in my chat GPT partner and say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I have. I want it to go this direction. I'd like it to have this tone. I'd like it to talk about this. It needs to point out these items, and then give me the best finished result that could ever be possible. And it always does it. It's very fascinating. I like working now because somebody asked me, okay, I'm going to step back a little bit. So I talked about Brandon. He back in high school, he was playing video games all the time. You know what they are and all that, and I'm not going to go through it. But one day I said, listen, you either better figure out how to make money out of this, or you better stop right now, and I need to know how you're going to do it. Son of a bitch was turning $200-300 a night selling. He created bots. Now this is, see, Brandon's 39. This was when he was 15, 16, 17, so that was that many years ago. That's how long this stuff's been around. Much more sophisticated now because all those people built this up over those years. But how it started was we lived in a couple different houses, but the one in Placentia, the rooms were further apart, and Brandon was in his room, Austin was in his room, I was in my room, and we had modern warfare going, and we were either against each other or on the same team, different missions. If you know how that, but we're playing that forever. And I was more into it than they were. And in the beginning, I kicked their royal butts every single day. But then not so much. These guys get shit. This makes sense to everybody. And, the reaction and everything else and the adrenaline. So after a while, I just wanted to be on somebody's team so I can shoot from the background or something. And it's like paintball, you go out and boom, you get hit by that paint. It's like, oh man, that's a shocking feeling. Can you imagine what people in war deal with? No wonder there's so much trauma. We talk about mental health, as a matter of fact. And, that's a big subject. So each of these different playlists are going in. And to finalize the point here, just Olivia, one of the things I did this morning is I typed in my playlist names. I haven't changed it yet. So if you go jump on there right now, you won't see it. But I used what I have and then what the description of what's in that playlist. And then I sent it through my chat GPT. Relevance AI has, I fix codes with one. I rewrite script with another. I schedule emails and set up calls to action, calls of action, all sorts of things. And so, the workflow, starting out, it's a new language. You got to have somebody who supports you. You got to have a professional, or, people want to go to their kids, but trust me, I did. And after a while, not a very long while either. And I don't blame them. You keep coming back and you're not getting it. And your son or your daughter or whatever, one-off thing, whatever. But yeah, that's a tough thing to keep the relationship without getting, God damn it, Dad, what the hell? That never happened. But, it's a tough thing. I was at my bank the other day. They watch the show a lot. There's several people in there. When I go in there, it's fun. It's a fun environment. They're good people. And I was talking to one of the tellers who I was doing, something. I was doing a PIN number thing or something. Anyway, he was talking about his mom trying to learn this chat GPT and him trying to teach her. And it's like, I'll just do it myself. That's the thing that is not going to get you very far. And it's going to be frustrating. And it's going to be aggravating. My God, I've already been going almost 40 minutes. Wow. Kind of like this. I like my life right now. Would you guys please support? Start sponsoring. Ask people who want sponsored. In other words, I would have mentioned. Let me think of a funny name. Oh, you see my hat sometimes called Duff, the brown one. That's from The Simpsons. It's Duff beer. I'd mentioned Duff beer here, and halfway through, hey, by the way, did you guys see what Duff beer's doing nowadays? Oh my God, it's awesome. In my case, there's several OEMs in the industry. We have one of those as a playlist, and that is a thing that's starting to happen and starting to feel a little bit better. I've got a lot of debt to pay, and I'm running out of savings sooner than later. So now's more of a sales pitch, right? So daily workflow is going to get freaking amazing, Olivia. I'm telling you. Discover Connecticut. Oh, real estate. It's got to be maybe not real estate. There's countries, yeah, states that have people. You see them at shows all the time, right? So you'll bring your business to that state, which, by the way, AI is going to make a lot easier to do. Safer. The physical stuff isn't going to go away unless you hire a couple of robots. Someday there's going to be a robot in every house, at least one. They used to say, what was it in the 50s? I think it was Johnson, and there'll be a car in every driveway. There are. There's usually like 5 of them or 3 of them, and so it is going to become easier to be able to do business. Like I do business all over the world now. Well, okay, that's a little extreme. This show goes to all over the world. I have people contacting me all the time, pretty regularly from different countries talking about this. The world is getting smaller, and it's because of what we're doing here and what AI what power AI is bringing to be able to have us spread that out. Because if I didn't know anything, if I didn't have help and know how to find the experts, much less know what they're talking about enough to be able to drive their points a little deeper for us, our community, this family. I love you guys being here, man. Really appreciate it. So what's your favorite part about building an AI powered classroom? The self-gratification, well, the feeling of, okay, I've never really spent money on myself that much. I've made money, I enjoy bringing revenue in. Everybody does, right? I mean, come on. By the way, if you hear clicking, this chair's, I'm trying to hold it together. It's about ready to fall apart. It's steel, but it's China. You buy, anyway, nothing against China, but it's falling apart. It's the second one. I had two of them. The other one's over there. The little things broke. Now, am I too heavy for them? I don't know. So what's really, really cool about building AI, I'm going to separate this question into two. How many do we got here? Okay. We're okay. I'm going to separate these into two. What's my favorite part about AI? It's fun. I mean, I'm at a point now in my AI where I tell my AI to tell me what I need to do next. And then I talk to him about what that is. And then I said, what can I do more? Or what is a better way to accomplish that? Because remember, AI is nowhere near as smart as the human brain. And if it ever will be, I don't know, and it really doesn't matter because it won't be in certainly our lifetimes, maybe our grandkids. I don't know, whatever. But you know what I mean? It's not human. The human brain is phenomenal. It is far beyond what anything has ever been conceived of on this earth. Here's the bottom line. If the human mind can conceive it and believe it, 100% will it achieve it. There is no other thing that can do that. Now, when AI comes in, it's really powerful, hugely powerful computing systems and storage systems. And we have all that storage there too, but we just don't control it as much. Well, so we built AI. That's what humans do. We lived out amongst the dinosaurs. It was really dangerous and risky. So we built homes. We built weapons. That was where AI started, sort of. So what else? I love building AI because I was talking about the game shows, the video games earlier, which my son ended up turning into a business still today. And then prior to that, we were playing the video games growing up. And then in that middle there somewhere, my other son, Austin, he got me into Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, which I don't do anymore. I mean, literally, I've done them for the last 10 years. And other ones, yeah, cool. But I just really enjoyed those, at night. I don't even do it. I have actually put a lot of money into those two games because you buy, if you know it, you know it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. So I am never on. I think it's been months since I've been on there because this is a freaking video game. Building automations is like a freaking video game because you're connecting. And it's so cool because it reaches out. So I've got one. Let's talk about one. And I've talked about this one before. So I have the cool little flip phone here. This is a 6. I had a 3 until a few months back. And it got to a point where I could 3, meaning like 4 or 5 years of the phone and on construction sites and everything else. But now I have this, which is technology very similar. It's not like a big impact. The other way would have done it too. But now I have this. And where's my social media one? And then I speak into this. I say, blah, 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 blah. Or better yet, I type something out. I put it on my computer, and I have my computer. You know how computers can read back to you like in Word? A simple, very simple things. You pick a male voice, pick a female voice. I mean, that's AI. I mean, that's been around for quite a while. You could take pictures of things and it'll tell you what it is. That's been around for quite a while. But I speak into that and I tell this thing, and then what it does is it grabs that. I have I have one of my modules is constantly looking for something to dump into that file. It's just sitting there, a new thing to dump into that file, just sitting there 24 hours a day, whenever. When it sees something, it grabs it and it turns it around and it hands it off to the next module. That next module says, okay, that's what we got. Okay. Well, I know my job is to then take it and get it ready to be able to be distributed into a JSON file, or there's a number of different ones, Chat GPT formatted kind of thing. And in each of these automations, you click on the module, you tell it what you want. There's a bunch of different choices depending on what you actually want it to do. In the class, we get into all those details. It's awesome shit. But then it one of those, I think Jason's probably one of the better ones I use. I use a couple different ones, but then takes that wording, analyzes the wording, goes out and looks all over the web for images that algorithm sees as a potential, not as a perfect image for what's written there. And then what it does is it sends it down the line, does a couple more this and that through a distribution network. And then there's web hooks and all other sorts of things. But I mean, it's literally a freaking live game show that you can, and it doesn't cost anything. I mean, literally, like when I send a message out with all that stuff, it goes to X, Twitter X, it goes to Instagram, goes to LinkedIn, it goes to 2 or 3 other ones, whatever. And each one of those are written with a tone according to the audience in that social media. Freaking cool. And anybody who see my stuff, it works. I get compliments all the time on my great artistry, and now people are, okay, I get it. It says AI. Okay. But the attraction of that information coming to you is big. Now, as far as the classroom, what I'm excited about that is this is geared towards small business. Okay. I fought that forever with a couple of folks over here. Namely, I'll name them out. Producer Barbie and Luca. I've mentioned his name on here a couple of times too. Talk about a brilliant freaking 16-year-old. I'd love to get into that story with us sometime. Long story about that. Very interesting dude. Very accomplished dude at 16. Started his own company. You guys got to talk to me about that. But what I'm so excited about in that classroom is that we're giving people tools now, and realistically, that they're able to utilize, learn, use to its best. And that's a neat feeling. And honestly, you learn stuff as you teach it. So it's also beneficial. Honestly, I'll tell you something. And I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm getting older, right? And people lose their memories, and they lose this and they lose that. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? You know what's bizarre? No, it's not bizarre. It's fascinating. Over the last few months, I've started noticing that my memory's getting way better. My recall's getting way better. My ability to talk. just everything is kind of shaping in, and not because of AI. Well, not because of AI, but because I'm learning new. If I learn French, for example, same sort of thing happens. You learn a new language that you need to use your brain, because those synapses start growing, and those more and more, and your brain becomes more active and alive and higher capabilities. And I think actually AI, I've heard between 8 and 10%. I heard 8 more times than 10. 10 I've just heard recently. Maybe we're getting better at it, but we only use that percentage of our brain. I think AI is going to greatly improve that. That's completely a theory, just came to mind, but it makes sense, because the more we learn, and with AI, you can actually have it teach you things in a way that you understand on your time, and do things for you that is going to be bringing out more cognitive ability in your own personal space. Every time I turn around, I think about what's coming, and I'm so fearful. And here's the other side of your question, Mr. Discover, or Mr. Connecticut, or your nickname. Hey, Discover. I know people go in their business things a lot, but I couldn't resist. I hear somebody talking back here. If I suddenly run, call 911. We're in Oswego. Anyway, and at the end of the day, I started this just promoting. We haven't started the actual class yet, just promoting it. But the reason is because of the most thing that I'm most excited, most happy about, and is my most favorite thing, because you've heard me harping that you guys got to get this down, because you guys got to get our politicians down and where they need to be, and like some people have called, clear that swamp out, because there's a swamp, and it's not a red swamp or a blue swamp. It's a swamp, freaking dirty ass, ugly, scary swamp, and it rules our lives, and it takes our money, and it decides how it wants to spend our money. What we need from government is obviously safety. Police thing hasn't been going so well. Border thing, it hasn't been going so well. That's their two basic things. And then freeway infrastructure, it's good, right? Don't we have a big bridge problem right now? So, but the thing that I'm going to say a bad word here, pisses me off, is that we keep voting the same people back in. We know what's going on deep down, but somebody told me once that it was like, I forgot the word they used, and they didn't tell me, they told us. It was just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, my brain is getting smarter, but it's not perfect yet. It came from a long, far way back. So give me some breathing room there. Give me some shoulder room. They said that, why did I go off on that tangent? Who that is. Anyway, you know what? I'm just kind of mumbling along here. My favorite thing is that that people are becoming more aware and able, and hopefully capable of bringing this technology into their lives and creating a much more elegant and quality of life, way more dramatic, more. And if we don't get our politicians in place where they need to be, vote for somebody who's got your best interests in mind. Because I guarantee you, as you look down your neighborhood street, every single one of those people, no matter who they are, where they're from, whatever, if they've got a family, if they've got kids, if they're retiring, every one of you has the same exact concerns. Same. Every one of you. There's nobody in the middle class that lives comfortably. I don't know why not. We did a while back, but not now. Well, hopefully now. I got some corruption coming out, but yet people are fighting that. All sorts of crazy shit going on. That kind of stuff can get resolved with AI because all it is a storage center. And then you ask it questions. But here's the thing that's tricky, dangerous. When you talk about what I'm saying now, dangerous potentially, tricky. It's not as bad as it sounds. The questions that you ask it are critical because it's looking for a question. And if you don't ask it that question in a way that you think you're asking it, and it actually comes out in a way that's slightly off, and you can adjust it, but I've gone down a rabbit hole before and just got pissed off. Producer Barbie was laughing at me. I think it was about a month ago. Me and my AI buddy, we were like, I was screaming at him. He was screaming at me too. He goes, look, Rod, calm down. I'm getting this. So, but it's really critical what you ask it. And because it's going to ask her, it's going to answer everything that you ask it. So that's really big. And what I like is now that I can talk to my AI and I can tell it to teach me or to do it just flat out. Hey, this is what I want you to do. Create that automation, put this there and put that there. It asked me a couple other things like, do you want me to make a thumbnail for it or whatever? And yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. Save so much money and so much time. I'm telling you, AI is cheap and it's only going to get cheaper. They predict, and I agree, I lead this charge that AI is going to make everything so incredibly inexpensive, so very proficient, so very productive that people won't have to work. Now, that's the point. The politicians either take advantage of that or they look for ways, okay, hey guys, we're here. We're going to make everything perfect. We are working together. You know, we are your arm. Remember, we hire them to go in and do this stuff for us. Are they doing it? Anyway, okay, so next one. Citrus Hills. Hey, I've seen you a few times on here. Thanks for being here, man. How do you stay updated with all the rapid AI changes and trends? Believe me, there's a lot. I'm sure. I guarantee you there's a lot of changes and trends that are coming and are already out there that, you know, we haven't caught up to yet. But to answer your question, and you know the answer because you're here. We have experts that come on and we talk about these things all the time, an open discussion and in this classroom. And that's where that community comes in. I want to be able to have those discussions day in and day out and pass the information around. You know what? I might, instead of a community, I really want to have what I call watch parties. You know, I've said that way too many times, but anyway, let's wrap this up. We're coming up on an hour here, but you know, that's how you stay in those trends is you watch shows like this, you listen to the news. News isn't very good. It's talking heads and it's talking points and it's like us on the earth, just barely scratching the surface. And you'll really learn a lot and talk to younger people. I have more friends under the age of 40 now than I've ever had in my life, probably even when I was in my 40s. And it's funny because every one of them, or basically every one of them says, dude, you're the oldest person I know talking about this. Well, that's how you kind of figure it out. You got to get where the source is, you know, and talk to experts. Hire an expert, you know, talk to there's several people that have been on here that provide services that are not that expensive. And sorry, I got a little tiny tick right there. Not tick, hair. A little, I don't know. I'm getting old, you know, hair shows up there every once in a while. Okay, so that's good for that. Living in Greenville, TV, or is that Tennessee with a typo? Can this kind of AI set up to be used small businesses and solopreneurs? Exactly. That's where we're gearing it for. And what will naturally happen, I didn't finish my point earlier on this, but naturally you're going to bring that stuff home too. And then it'll be in your family's environment, and it'll become part of your personal life. But 100%, that's who we're designing this class for. And I mentioned earlier, I actually just wanted to do families because they get everywhere. And like Luca and producer Barbie are like, no, this got to be for businesses, because that's, the American people are the backbone of America, because they work for and start up and create with and hire people for small businesses. And, that's always been the beauty of this country and the ability of this country. And it's always been the way that this country has become healthy again, when it was great again. So let's make America healthy again. Oh, wait, no, Robert Kennedy took that, didn't they? I stole that from him. I don't mean healthy, although that's true. I mean healthy, financially healthy, mentally healthy, societarily healthy, all that stuff. This live format is awesome. Please do more. Hey, thank you, podcast. Actually, I'm getting, there's several people that are contacting this show and want us to do guests on their show. So I'm going to start doing some of that, because this isn't about me and you. This is about all of us. This is our people here. We need to do what is needed, what's taken. Come join the party. Come join the conversation. This is a movement, and it has to be, because we have to be in front of what's coming. We need to, in essence, prepare. So I think that hits everything, guys. Look, awesome. I appreciate that. I'm going to try and do more of these impromptu with maybe a little notice next time. But leave your comments, subscribe, please. I need to get to, what did they say? I need to get to 3,000 downloads a show. We're anywhere near that. But let's make this happen, man. You, me, brother. You, me, sister. Let's happen. Come on. And we're going to do it here, right here on Insights and Straight Talk with me, your host, Rod Duff, and that awesome producer, Barbie. And with that, I'm out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here, and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out.